Hi and welcome back to our educators. So for today I'm going to discuss subtopic 3.4 from your chemistry form 4, which is chemical equation. So for basically this subtopic you should be able to write a balanced chemical equation and you should interpret chemical equation quantitatively and qualitatively. That is your first two learning objective, and for today we are going to focus on the next learning objective, which is you must be able to solve the stoichiometry numerical problem. Okay, so for my channel I already gave you ample of examples for balancing chemical equations. So for today I'm going to focus on this particular part. Example 17, I'm going to explain the question in detail, and then I want you to practice activity 3.20 question number 1 and number 2. So I'm going to show that two solutions too in the coming videos. Alright, so I hope you watch all the videos and gain something for your exams. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, burning of aluminium in air is as follows: 4Al solid plus 3O2 produces 2Al2O3 solid. Okay, meaning that you have an aluminium solid, you have an oxygen gas, and you have solid aluminium oxide. So this is your substance and reaction. So basically, if the question asks you to interpret quantitatively or qualitatively, you have to state them properly. Okay, so if let's say quantitatively, I just want to touch about the second learning objective. Okay, I just write it here lah. Okay, for your note. Okay, if you want to explain quantitatively, okay, wait, let me to check the spelling. Oops. Okay, you may go. Okay, quantitatively. Okay, so quantitatively, how you want to explain them? Okay, so if they say quantitatively, you have to emphasize on the number of moles. Okay, so how many moles of aluminium you have? Just see the front number, 4. So you have to express 4 mole of aluminium solid. Okay, aluminium solid reacts with, who's the next reactant? Oxygen reacts with 3 mole of oxygen gas, produces, what does it produce? 2 mole of solid aluminium oxide. So this is the correct way to express them quantitatively. So remember, when you have aluminium and oxygen together as a compound, we would pronounce them as aluminium solid. Okay, that's the correct way. Okay, should you emphasize about the state of matter, whether it's solid, gas, or whatever? Okay, basically for SPM level, it's not a must to emphasize on the state of matter, but if you want to do so, yes, you may. Okay, then how about qualitatively? Okay, basically qualitatively we will state the name of the reactants and also product. Okay, so let me to tell you how we would do it. Okay, so I would say aluminium, because this is my reactant, reacts with oxygen, produce aluminium oxide. So you see, I just spell their name and tell who is the reactant and who is the product. That's it, my qualitatively. Okay, so this is how we would emphasize them properly in a proper order. Okay, so to get more examples or more, what you call that, or more detailed answer, you can do the past year questions. Okay, I would show a few past year questions in the coming videos, maybe to emphasize on this quantitatively and qualitatively explanation properly. Okay, so remember one thing, if we are going to interpret the chemical equation qualitatively, you should spell the substance and the reactant, sorry, the substance and also the product properly. You must spell them. You cannot give the chemical formula. We consider it's wrong. Okay, so we are done with that one. Then now we go for the solution. Okay, so what does the question states? What is the mass of aluminium oxide? Okay, they are asking about the mass of aluminium oxide. Oh my god, why this highlighter is not like what I hope. Change color. Aluminium oxide produced if 5.4 gram of aluminium burnt in a completely in air. The air means oxygen lah. Okay, so my first step always, okay, I write the steps here lah. Okay, somewhere here. Change different color lah. Okay, so I would teach you the way that my teacher taught me those days. Okay, those days how my teacher taught me, I would teach you that way. Okay, steps. Okay, so number one, my teacher always says make sure your chemical equation is there and it is balanced. Okay, so make sure have a balanced, your chemical equation should be balanced. Okay, then only we can use chemical equation. Okay, and then my teacher say write the info you have. Okay, normally she say below the equation lah, below the equation. And then your third step should be find moles, mole ratio, and finally question. So this is how my teacher guide us those days when we are doing stoichiometry questions. Okay, so now I'm going to explain every single way correctly. Okay, so I write first the chemical equation. So I have 4Al plus with 3O2 produce 2Al2O3. So this is my chemical equation. Balanced or no? Yeah, I can check. I have 4Al in the reactant side and the substance side, sorry, in the product side, yes, 4. Oxygen I have 6 here and then 6 here. Then it's correct lah. It's considered correct. Okay, so my first step is done. Okay, my first step is, oh, where's the red pen? Okay, so my first step correct. Write the info you have below the equation. Okay, what info you have? They say you have 5.4 gram of aluminium. So that is the info that you have, right? So where's aluminium? This is aluminium. This is aluminium oxide. So you should write year or year. Obviously year lah. And they say 5.4 grams. So it's mass. Okay, so mass equal to 5.4 gram. And then what they want? They want mass of aluminium oxide. So they want mass of this thing. Okay, so we are done. I already write what the info that I have, and then I already told I already specify what is my question. Okay, so my second step also done. Okay, moving on to my third step, find moles. Okay, for whom I need to find moles? For this one or this one? Obviously this one. Why this one? Because I have mass and I do learn a formula which relates number of moles with mass. Okay, so what is the formula? Write first the formula. Don't ever feel lazy to write the formula. Okay, so number of moles, so the unit is mole. I always specify the formula with unit, equal to mass over molar mass. Okay, so this is the formula that we learned in our 3.2, correct? So mass unit is gram and molar mass unit is gram over mole. Okay, then now to proceed. Okay, what is my mass of aluminium? The question says 5.4. Just write it. 5.4 gram. Okay, then what is my molar mass? Okay, molar mass of aluminium I can get from the relative atomic mass, which is 27. Okay, so just write 27. And then the unit gram, mole, -1. Okay, now it's time to press your calculator correctly. So you will get 0.2. Okay, so my value is 0.2. Then how about my unit? Okay, you can see my gram is up and down. Up got gram, below also got gram. So I can cut. Then my mole -1 initially add down, right? But I cannot finish a question like this. 0.2 mole -1. This is not a proper way. Okay, because unit always should be together with the number. Okay, in the final answer. So I would bring this mole -1 to up. So 0.2 mole -1 change to mole only, literally mole positive lah, because I bring it to up, right? Okay, so this is my moles. Okay, so I already find my moles. Then now I can do mole ratio, because the main requirement to do mole ratio is we must have number of moles. So I already have my number of moles, so this side I can do my mole ratio. Okay, so this one lah. Okay, so mole ratio. Okay, so how to do my mole ratio? Okay, to do mole ratio you have two lines. Okay, take two lines, these two lines. Okay, so the first line would be talking about your balanced chemical equation. So this is your balanced chemical equation. So the issue is between whom and whom? Aluminium and aluminium oxide, because I got information about this one and I want to find about this one. So oxygen doesn't involve in my mole ratio step. Okay, so just write how many mole of aluminium I do have. I have 4 mole of aluminium. Okay, and then 2 mole of aluminium oxide. This is basically from my chemical equation. But how many moles does the question give to me? 0.2. So right below aluminium, because that one belongs to aluminium, right? So just right below it and find how many moles of Al2O3 available. Okay, this is the crucial part. You must do like this, then only you'll get the 1 mark. Okay, so your arrow 0.2 mole, you times with 2 and divide with 4. Okay, so you will get the number of moles of Al2O3. So 0.2 times 2 divided by 4. So you will end up getting 0.1 mole of whom? Al2O3. Yes, correct. But the question asks mass and I have mole. Can I relate my mole and mass? Yes, of course can. How? This formula again. You see? It's very simple. If you manage to use the formula and you understand the formula, then the stoichiometry question is just easy peasy lemon squeezy for you. Okay, so I can put a tick in the mole ratio. So because I already done my mole ratio, then I can find the question. Question asks mass. So I just write back the formula. Okay, so this is my formula that I wrote just now. Okay, like me, I'm using tab, so I can just copy paste lah. Like you have to write by yourself, but don't feel lazy to write it. The more you write, the more you can remember. So now I already have my number of moles, correct? How much? 0.1 mole. Okay, and I want to find my mass. How about my molar mass? I already have, or I need to find? Of course I need to find. Okay, so remember, when you calculate molar mass, calculate for the substance, not for the number from the substance. Meaning that, okay, this is the thing that you want to find, right? Okay, don't include the 2 when you calculate. I mean these 2 when you calculate the molar mass. It's totally wrong. You must take the subscript only. The front number is just for mole ratio. Okay, so don't ever include that in your calculation of molar mass. Okay, so I have how many Al2? I have 2 here. So 2 times 27 plus with 3 times 16 gram mole -1, and obviously I know this one is 0.1 mole. I just write back. Okay, mass over molar mass. Okay, so my molar mass is 2 times 27 plus 3 times 16. So overall 102 gram mole negative 1. Okay, I want to find my mass, so just change the position. 0.1 mole times 102 gram mole negative 1 equal to my mass. Okay, so mole and mole I can cut. Why I can cut? Because this one is mole while this one gram over mole. You see, this one add up, this one add down, so I can cut. That's why I cut it lah. Okay, and then 0.1 times 102, I will get 10.2 gram Al2O3. So this is my final answer. Very simple and straightforward. Okay, if you don't believe me, come, let's check your textbook. Is the answer 10.2? Yes, correct. The answer is 10.2 gram. So how we give marks for this question? Okay, so let me to explain about the marking now. Okay, question, I already find the question, right? Oops, sorry. Okay, so normally chemical equation given, so you find the number of moles, you will get marks, and then you do the mole ratio, you will get marks, 2 marks, 1 mark here, another 1 mark here. Okay, and then you find the molar mass, final answer with correct unit, final answer with correct unit, final answer and correct unit. So you'll get the third part. So this is how your 3 marks were given. Okay, so I hope you understand my explanation for this question and hope it helps you to do further questions. So now what I want you to do is, I want you to practice these questions. Activity 2.20, I want you to practice question number 1 and question number 2. Okay, so I'm going to discuss these 2 questions in the coming video. So I hope you will watch the video and make sure you hit the like button for me. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you and bye.